Hey, this is John with FixYourDirtBike.com, and this is how to rebuild the rear brake master cylinder on your 1997 through 2001 Honda CR250. The tools you will need are 5mm hex wrench, 8mm hex wrench, 12mm box wrench, 12mm socket, torque wrench, long nose snap ring pliers, regular pliers, needle nose pliers, calipers, rubber grease, shop towels, and safety glasses. The parts you will need are a rear master cylinder rebuild kit, a new cotter pin for the brake lever, and a fresh bottle of .4 brake fluid. You can get all the parts you need through the link below. This rebuild should cost no more than $25 and take less than an hour to complete. Brake fluid will damage almost everything, so keep your shop towels handy. Start by disconnecting the brake pedal return spring. Remove the banjo bolt and keep track of the seal washers. Remove the reservoir bolt and master cylinder bolts, then pull the unit away from the frame. Remove the brake lever pivot bolt, then pull the entire master cylinder assembly. When you take the entire assembly off your bike, you can remove the clevis cotter pin much faster. With the brake pedal disconnected, remove the clevis and lock nut from the pushrod shaft. Remove the reservoir and hose from the cylinder body, then remove the snap ring and reservoir hose mount. Pull the boot from the pushrod shaft, then remove the snap ring. Pull the pushrod and washer from the cylinder, followed by the piston and the spring. Finally, disassemble the reservoir and hose. Clean every piece of the system and inspect them as you go. When cleaning brake components, all you need to use is clean brake fluid and a stiff brush. But this master cylinder was so rusty, this went from a routine service to a full restoration, so I had to clean it with something harsher than brake fluid. So after I scrub all the grime and sand off all the dust, I'm going to have to thoroughly rinse and dry every component, then clean again with brake fluid to remove any residue. Measure the inside diameter of the cylinder bore and the outside diameter of the piston. The cylinder bore should measure no greater than 12.76 millimeters, and the piston should measure no less than 12.64 millimeters. This cylinder bore is 12.77 millimeters, and the piston is 12.59 millimeters, which means this is out of spec by 0.06 millimeters. I'm going to take my chances and keep using these parts. If you want to reuse parts that are out of spec, I didn't tell you to do it. While everything is drying, take stock of your new parts. I am installing an all-balls master cylinder rebuild kit number 1439440002. This kit comes with a new spring, boot, reservoir O-ring, piston clip, piston cups, reservoir clip, and banjo bolt washers. Match the old parts with the new parts to make sure you're not accidentally throwing away something you need. Once you have your new parts ready, soak your new O-ring and piston cups in fresh brake fluid for 15 minutes to soften and lubricate for assembly. Start your assembly with the piston. Make sure to use brake fluid throughout the install to lubricate your parts. Install the large piston cup on the pushrod end and the small cup on the spring end. Make sure to install the cups so the wide side is facing the spring end. Attach the new spring. Install the piston past the first cup and stop when the spring touches the end of the cylinder. The piston and cylinder are a very tight fit, so take care not to roll the piston cups on the way in. Coat the pushrod end with rubber grease and hold the pushrod to the piston while you get the spring clip in position on the pushrod shaft. Grip the cylinder in your fist and hold the pushrod with your thumb. Carefully press the pushrod down into the cylinder until the washer passes the spring clip groove and install the spring clip. If your spring clip has a flat side and a rounded side, the flat side must face out. Grease and install the boot. You can use the round end of a small wrench to push the sides of the boot all the way into the bore. Install the lock nut and clevis. Adjust the clevis so the center of the first mounting hole and the center of the clevis hole are 75 millimeters apart. Install the new O-ring for the reservoir hose mount. Install the hose mount and secure it with the spring clip. If your spring clip has a flat side and a rounded side, the flat side must face out. The hose mount may feel loose, but the pressure of the system will push it tight against the clip. Assemble and install the reservoir and hose. Reassemble the brake lever and clevis with the new cotter pin. Install the brake lever and the master cylinder, then push the reservoir into the frame. Do not attach the reservoir, you will need access to it when replacing brake fluid. Install the banjo bolt with new seal washers and reattach the return spring. Torque the banjo bolt to 25 foot-pounds, the master cylinder mounting bolts to 9 foot-pounds, and the brake lever pivot bolt to 19 foot-pounds. Make sure to visit FixYourDirtBike.com for the detailed step-by-step walkthrough, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments or on our Facebook page. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe.